If you haven't noticed, being a human is kind of hard. And so I've been working with my guides and my spirit team a little bit recently, asking them some insights about why this human life? What exactly is it that our souls want to get from being a human? So during this episode, I'm likely going to be channeling my spirit team. So stay tuned and listen into the insights that they have for us as humans living on Earth. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name is Angie, and I'm your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing you intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team to help you align with your most authentic and highest self. So if you're anything like me, you've kind of had moments in life of just being tired of being here on earth, tired of being a human, especially if you've been awakening into a higher consciousness and becoming more aware of who you are, that we're just spirits living here on earth for a lesson and a reason and to grow into something. You may have had times where it seems like things are not working out for you and you feel frustrated and defeated. Maybe even moments where you're like, I'm just kind of done with this human thing. If that's true, then you're not alone. I've had those times many times in my life. If you pick up either of my books that you see here behind me, Leaf Lessons or Composting the Ego, I wrote both of these books based on some of the experiences I've had, but also channeled messages with my spirit team. So they could give you some support and insight if you are feeling that way, especially if you're coming out of religion or deconstructing from anything that you've been told or believed most of your life about yourself or religion or spirituality. But how do we do this thing called life? How do we be a human? And why in the heck did our soul think it was a good idea to come down here on earth and to experience this painful place? And I'm sure if you have watched any other spiritual teachers talking about the experience of being a human, that you understand that we come here to learn. We come here to experience the human life for a purpose of growth in our soul. But what exactly does that do for our soul? And why is that something that is important for the universe in general, or even individually as a soul? The other day I was thinking this to myself and talking to my spirit team, asking them, why this? Why, out of all the billions of things we could do in the universe, all the experiences that we could have, all the different planets, all the different dimensions and realms and beings and all the amazing things that the universe holds within it, why human? And the insights I got were pretty amazing, and I want to share those with you. And I think that looking at human life from this perspective can help us get through those hard days a little bit better, because the reality of it is on the hard days, those are the days that we simply have forgotten who we are and why we're here. And when we remember who we are and why we're here and the massive amount of growth that we're getting by being here, but also the massive amount of growth the universe is getting from us by being here, then we start to ease into this human role a little bit more and enjoy it while we're here. Many of us have ascended into a new consciousness recently as New Earth is rising in the frequency, and we're working our way out of the 3D reality where that is the way we've seen everything and the way we perceived ourselves and the world around us. And as we're shifting from a 3D reality into a 4D, where we're a little bit more collectively connected to our higher selves and the consciousness of the higher dimensions, it can become a little bit more difficult to navigate this experience as a human. Not that it wasn't difficult in the 3D energy when we weren't even aware of what we're aware now, but now that we are aware of it, how do we live in this place? And it has come to my understanding in working with my spirit team that a lot of us have been here many times on earth, and that our incarnation and our awakening and our reincarnations that we've gone through multiple times have led us to the place that we're ready to ascend and grow into that next level of comprehension and awareness as a human in this realm. But as we're shifting into a higher consciousness, as we're awakening into that next realm, we're still having to deal with the 3D. And that's what makes it a little difficult. Until we move into the 5D energy, we will continue to be working with some of that 3D energy. In the in-between stage within the 4D, the way that my spirit team has explained to me is it's just a place of training, a place of remembering, a place of teaching us and allowing us to acclimate ourselves in our mind, body, and soul to be prepared for the 5D. It's much like when a spirit leaves the body, it will go through several different dimensions before it gets into the higher realms, where it will move through the dimension that we are actually going into, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension is much like the fourth dimension, it just at a different frequency and a higher level. The sixth dimension, I like to refer to it as the wound of the universe. The womb, like a mother's wound for a child, where it holds the healing frequency of allowing a spirit to adjust back into its original form. Because as we know, why we're here on earth, if we were to shift all the way up into the higher consciousness, into the seventh, eighth dimensions, or even above really quickly, that would be really hard for our soul. Our soul is going through a lot while it's here on earth. And so in order for it to acclimate back into the higher dimensions, the universe has marvelously placed different dimensions in place to help us prepare for that next one. So when a soul leaves its body, it will move into that sixth dimension where it will acclimate into a different frequency. It will realize, oh my gosh, I'm still alive. I'm not a human anymore. What does this mean for me? This is where the soul starts to realize that they're still alive, where they realize that that human they just were wasn't really who they were. It was just a vessel they were experiencing life in for a moment. And it really is just a moment according to the soul and spirit. Life is a second compared to what we experience here in this dense energy. And so if you think about how quick that would move for a spirit, that time to acclimate is really important. And this is where your loved ones and your guides or your angels, whoever it is that is assigned to help bring you back into the higher dimensions, will meet you and help assist you into the next dimension where you'll move into a higher frequency. And so those of us on earth that are shifting in our consciousness and raising in our consciousness are experiencing this on a different level, where we're moving into that 4D energy and we're acclimating ourselves so that we can prepare to be in 5D energy, because it's much different than where we've been in 3D energy. As we keep shifting into awareness, eventually, when we continue into the higher dimensions, our bodies will change as well. We will become less dense. We will become less sickly. There will be things that we've experienced in 3D that we will not have to experience as we shift into higher consciousness and different dimensions. And so being able to navigate this as we're still in it is going to be important so that we can adjust into this next phase of the new earth ascension. But why? Why did we decide to come and do this anyways? What is the point of it? Why the pain of being a human? Why the experience? And what did we gain from this experience that we're now taking with us into those higher dimensions and realms? And how did the universe benefit from us? So I'm going to step out as my ego, Angie, and I'm going to allow my spirit team to come in and answer this question for us so that we can better navigate this together. So stay tuned. I'm going to prepare and I will be back. Divine ones, we are here to assist you and to guide you in this ascension into New Earth. And we understand that many of you are questioning why it is that you must go through the dense energy in order to ascend into a new frequency and lighter frequency. And we want to give you the information based on our perspective of what it means to be a human and why it is such a special gift that you get to have. Many souls are waiting here for the experience, and they have been watching in anticipation of what humanity is about to do. There is a huge shift happening on the earth, and we are very excited to be a part of it and to watch it. Those of us that have assisted in the experience of being guides are very excited to be a part of the humans' lives that are becoming aware. It is becoming even more apparent that you are able to work with us as we are working with you. And this is an exciting moment in time for us spirits as we become one and more closely energized with you and being able to hold the same frequency together as we ascend together and we work together to allow humans to work into the next dimension. In order to do this, though, that you must understand that the pain and the suffering that you have had as a human in the 3D energy did not go to waste. It actually was a part of the ascension, and it has been prevalent and needed for the ascension to happen. So we want to encourage you, instead of looking at the pain and the suffering that you have all experienced on earth as something negative or fearful or something against you, it has been the experience that has been manifested due to your own doing. Many of the souls that came to earth wanted to experience what it felt like to be separate from self. In order to grow, you must learn who you are not so that you can learn who you are. The souls that have come into the earthly realm, into the third dimension, into the fourth dimension now, are the souls that wanted to experience themselves outside of the realm of their true abilities and true self. And the more you disconnect from self, the more you are able to remember who you are and what self is. And each time you come back into a new frequency of understanding of who you are, you expand in your consciousness, you expand in your light, you expand in the ability to enhance the universe and grow in the frequency of love. Every time a human has overcome darkness, they have helped the universe to expand and to proceed in being able to create more of itself. You must understand that everything is source energy, God. Everything is God experiencing itself. Many humans have forgotten who they are. They forget that they are a direct frequency of source energy. And as you ascend and as you awaken, you will become more and more aware of that oneness that you have, not only with source energy, but with yourselves and with each other. As you ascend to higher consciousness, you will be able to regulate yourself and your body and emotions in a much more clear way. You will begin to see that fear is an illusion and that you have created that in the lower dimensions to create the contrast in order to experience the learning that you desired. Many of the souls that have come to earth picked very hard lives in order to ascend very quickly. Those who are ascending into the new earth energy are the ones that have went through the lessons and they have allowed themselves to grow and learn from them. There are many souls that are not ready to ascend, and that is where they're meant to stay. It is not that they will not ascend. They are not going to be ascending at the same rate as those who are ready. And so we must understand as one collective energy that we are doing this together and we are not meant to work against each other. Each one is playing a role. Each one is playing a different frequency. Just as a symphony and a song, each of you has a note that you play, but it is all in one accord. It is all together. It is all connected. It is one collective frequency and musical song that you all sing together. If you were able to see and hear and feel what it is like from the higher dimensions in which we are, you would understand that this is a beautiful symphony that is being created, and each one plays a different note. Some notes are lower, some are higher, but they all come together for the purpose of creating the symphony and the expansion of love within the universe. In order to experience self, you must separate self. And this is why the souls have decided to come to earth, is to have the moment, the ability, the pause, the disconnect, and the frequency changes in order to experience self in a different dimension and way. The painful experiences in the 3D energy are what created the contrast within the other realms and the dimensions. And each time a soul was able to heal and ascend and work through the pain, it was creating more and more love and more of a higher frequency in the universe, expanding and growing each dimension. In every dimension, a soul is working on something. But in the third dimension, within the densest dimension that we can experience as souls, we are coming into the earthly realm to be that deepest contrast, be the darkest contrast in the universe. And this is actually a very important role. If you were to see it from our perspective, we would be able to teach you that this is a beautiful experience. Many humans are starting to see the experience as beautiful, but that is only through many trials and much pain. The more you awaken to yourself, the more you awaken to higher consciousness, the more you are going to realize that you are the creator of your reality. And the more you understand that you are the creator of your reality, the more you are able to create the reality that you desire. But in order to create the reality that you desire, you must learn who you are. And who you are is a frequency of love. And when you create, you must create in love. Many of you have been creating out of fear. Many of you have been creating out of density. And that only creates more of that density around you. And that is what you are creating. So when you become aware of who you are in a higher consciousness and the frequency of love and light, and the dimensions in which you come from, and the source energy God, and the actual collective energy of one, where you can see things as simply beautiful, you can begin to create beautiful things in your life. You can begin to see yourself as beautiful. You can begin to see those around you as beautiful. Even in the midst of darkness, you can see past the pain and understand that every human is a soul experiencing itself in separation. The ego was created in order for you to have the experience to be separate. The ego plays the important role of causing the separation so that you can have the contrast within self to rediscover who you are in a different energy. The ego holds the ability to be in the lower frequencies. The ego is what is able to hold the fear. The ego is what is able to hold the pain. The ego is what is able to hold the dimensions of the 3D energy. Without the ego, you would not be able to experience the human reality. And so the role of the ego has played its part well. And we want to send love to the ego, and we want to thank the ego for allowing us to have the opportunity to be separate from self. But now is a time to begin to see the ego in a new energy and to allow it to feel safe enough to ascend. The ego will begin to release its hold as it ascends into higher dimensions. And as humanity moves into new earth, as it shifts into a higher frequency, as it shifts into a 5D frequency, the ego will begin to release its need to protect and control, and less fear will be prevalent within the ego. But the ego has played the role well. It has done its part well. And you must understand that it is not your enemy. It is a partner in this experience that you have chosen to have here on earth. Remember that being a human is a privilege. We understand it is painful. We understand that you forget who you are. We understand that the experience around you is what you think is happening to you. But you must remember that you are the one creating the experience. It is not happening to you. It is happening with you. It is happening for you. And anything that you reflect out is reflecting back to you in order to bring you back to self. When you stop to see the pain, when you stop to feel the pain, when you stop to see the fear, when you stop to see the ideas that you've been taught about yourself in the ego's idea of programming, you can begin to see yourself in the contrast between the ego and the light, which is your soul. Your soul will begin to teach the ego it is safe. And working together in balance, you will begin to ascend. Eventually, the ego is going to allow your soul to be what is prominent in guiding you into this new earth. Remember that you are powerful, and that the more you come into the energy of love, the more you continue to create the love frequency around you and in you, the more is going to allow the earth to ascend into a different frequency, into a higher frequency of what the humans might say. It may feel different. It may feel a little hard at times because you are not used to the density that you are moving into. It feels much lighter. Your body will react to it. Your body will need to adjust to the lighter densities that you are going into. You may feel lightheaded. You may feel your body shifting. You may not be able to handle the things that you were able to handle as you were in 3D. You may not want to do the things that you wanted to do in 3D. You must be okay with letting things go. You must be okay with allowing yourself to ascend into a new understanding. And then a new understanding, your body shifts as well. Eventually, the body will crystallize and change into a new frequency as it moves into 5D. However, the timing of that is not something that you must worry about. What you must worry about in this moment is who you are and connecting with your own heart. That is your only mission at this point, is to ascend into the frequency of love. And that is by connecting deeper and deeper into your own heart. That is your one assignment at this time, is to work on your energy, is to allow yourself to see yourself in love and be able to radiate that love outward. The more you do that, the more the earth will ascend. And as humanity does this, as the earth does this, as the frequency of the core of the earth also ascends, you will begin to see things shifting and awakening all around you, not just in humans, but also within the earthly realm. Do not be fearful of what you see changing around you. Do not allow the 3D fear to distract you from your ascension into love. Do not look at the things happening as destruction, but as clearing. And remember that everything is eternal. Everything is happening for the purpose of expansion. Everything is happening for the source energy God to begin to experience itself in new realms. And each time it experiences itself in a new realm, it expands itself. And expanding love is the only thing, the only goal that we have as one, as we all work together as one. Remember that you are a frequency and your frequency matters. And we will assist you. Call upon us. Call upon us for the help that you need. We are here to assist you. We are excited to be a part of this ascension, and we will help guide. Remember who you are. You are a divine being of light. You are a frequency of love. Get to know the note that you play and play it well. We are excited to be a part of this with you. Continue your mission. We are proud of you. We love you. We love you. We love you. I hope that was helpful for you. And I want to extend an invitation to you all. if there's a question that you have for my spirit team, the Wisdom Keepers, or the Ascended Masters, who I also will channel at times, feel free to drop those questions below. I will try to look through them and organize them depending on how many I get and try to get to some of those. But I do know that sometimes it's helpful to hear directly from the higher dimensions about things that we are wondering about. So I hope that this episode helped you in some way to understand a little bit more about why we're a human. I know that I'm going to go back and listen to what they said because I need to know as well. Until we meet again, I wish you all the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.